Hey guys, Corel Cooper here with OnTheBlack.com. So there's been a lot of reports over the last couple of days as to whether or not the Mets rejected a trade from the Toronto Blue Jays, which would have sent the Mets Roy Halladay in exchange for Bobby Parnell, Jonathan Nice, Ruben Tejada, and Fernando Martinez. And I've made comments on other blogs, but figured I might as well make my own video post about this. First I want to say that if that is true, I'm gonna reserve judgment on Omar Minaya until Roy Halladay is in fact traded, or if not traded. And the reason why I say that, if you guys remember, when the Mets got Santana, no one thought that the Mets were in the Santana talks. Everyone thought that, at that point, after Minnesota couldn't come to an agreement with the Yankees and maybe some other teams, that Santana would just be a twin for the season, and the Mets were able to come in last minute and get Santana, in a really good trade for the Mets. So I'm going to wait to see, because if the talks are true, I don't think that the Mets are done talking to the Blue Jays. And again, that's if the talks are true. But I will say this: I would have accepted that trade for those four players that I just named, and here's why. First and foremost, to go into next season with Santana and Halladay at the top of your rotation, basically the best two pitchers in the baseball, that's an opportunity that I don't think you can pass up if you're the Mets. Also, let's look at the four players that they would have to give up, or that was talked about that they would give up if this deal were true. First, Bobby Parnell. While he's been good this year, let's be honest here. Relief pitchers have their ups and downs, and one good year they're good, the next year they're bad. So I'm not going to hold off on getting Roy Halladay for just to keep Parnell, even though he's young and has a strong arm. Jonathan Nice, starting pitcher, doing really well in AAA right now, but that doesn't mean that he's going to do great at the next level. And as a matter of fact, I'm a fan of the Mets bringing him up right now if they need to fill Nieve's spot. I'm a big fan of bringing Nice up right now. Let's see what he has at the next level. But at the same time, if Nice ever works out to be 3/4 as good as Halladay, that would be a miracle in itself. The chances of Nice being close to as good as Halladay is right now is highly unlikely, and that takes nothing away from Jonathan Nice. That just to me gives more credit to how good Roy Halladay really is right now. Let's look at the next player, Fernando Martinez. While he came up this year, I think it's fair to say we still really don't know what type of player Fernando Martinez will be, but we do know a couple things. One, he's injury prone. Ever since the Mets have signed him, whether coming up through the minors and even this year when he got to the major league level, he's always had some sort of an injury. And two, he looked overmatched when he was at the major league level this year. So he didn't really show us anything special while he was here. And again, he's still a young player, still has to develop. We really don't know what type of player he's going to be in the long run, but we do know those two things about him. And then, looking at the fourth player in the deal, Ruben Tejada, probably the player that I know the least about. I know that the Mets are high on him in the minors, but how many players that the Mets are high on in the minors actually pan out to be something good in the majors? So, if you take those four players and put that up against Roy Halladay, arguably, no, not even arguably, he is the best pitcher in the American League, and put him at the head of the Mets rotation with Santana, that's an unbelievable 1-2 punch that I don't think that you can pass. So those are my thoughts on the Mets possibly trading for Roy Halladay, or better yet, what has been reported as them turning down their deal for Roy Halladay. Would love to hear what you guys think. Talk to you soon.